Well, the greatest train that ever run down America's railroad track was the Orange Blossom Special, bringing my baby back. From New York to Miami, you could see them drivers roll, but the Orange Blossom Special don't stop Waldo anymore.
Hey everybody, it's Lydia, the Tally Stitcher, back with Flosstube number 12. So I did it. Now we're 2 weeks from the last one, trying to keep up on that. Although I know the next Flosstube, I guess you'd see, will be filmed at our new place. We get the keys for it this Wednesday, which is exciting. But we're also really, I don't know if busy is the word at work, but it's a little scattered. And my summer program already started. I had my first one last Thursday. So we'll see how much stitching gets done. Some got done for this, and I'll have stuff to show you. This may not be a super long episode, but that's fine. I also don't know if you guys are super tilted. The place is in shambles. I mean, it's usually in shambles, but it's in more shambles. So the angle of the camera, to me, looks kind of weird. I don't know. All sorts of stuff. New boxes, old boxes, packing boxes. I took some stuff to Goodwill earlier today, and you know, the rule that we've kind of put in place is, as we're moving stuff to the new apartment, if it's not over there in the first two and a half weeks, then it's not coming. It's gonna go straight to either Goodwill or maybe the trash or wherever it needs to go. So we've got a couple whips to show you guys. I am doing something for Jolly July. My husband had a few starts that I'll show you, and yeah, so let's get started with whips, I guess. I don't know if people usually do whip parades, like mid-year whip parades, or if that's just an end-of-the-year thing, since I only hopped into the Flosstube world at the end of last year. I thought about doing a whip parade, but that's not going to happen right now because all of my stuff is scattered. Half of it's packed, half of it's not. So this is something that I mentioned in my first whip parade, which I would have filmed early in my Flosstube career, but I think it was packed away or something. And this is my oldest whip, to my knowledge, and it's a Jim Shore design with Design Works, and it is the 12 Days of Christmas. I remember picking this up with my husband on a trip to Michael's or Joann's sometime in, I think 2016 perhaps, is the date I have on my little spreadsheet. So it was kind of a very ambitious project, I'm noticing, now that I'm a little bit more comfortable cross-stitching. And so I did stitch on it a little bit last year, after it had been put away for several years. And now I just pulled it out. Sorry, there's a little gnat in here interrupting my filming. So I had to put this away, and then thought to bring it out in July, which apparently a lot of people do. So this is, you know, 2016. What does that make it? 5 years worth of progress? To me, it looks like Mount Fuji. But it starts in the middle of his coat, Santa's coat, and it has a representation of everything from the 12 Days of Christmas. So this orange blob is the partridge in a pear tree, and he's got some pears. I just worked on these doves here in the last few nights. And then this is beginning what I think is a French hen. I think it's like a really nice feathery green thing. I don't think there's as many of each animal looking at the design. It's just kind of a representation of one. So I'm just plugging away at that this July with whatever else kind of gets in the rotation, or pretty much what I can continue to find. I feel like I'm gonna bump my PS4 controller, and it's gonna make Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery start playing again because I stopped him midway. Oh no, apparently I've already messed with it because it zoomed forward. Anyway, he's paused like right next to me. Hi, Jacob. So yeah, so I'm working on the middle bit there. So that little rooster guy, hen guy, Because then there's like a calling bird. I think it's just the calling bird. So I'll start working on him too. So that's what I'm definitely stitching on for Jolly July. I don't have any other Christmas patterns really. We sometimes decorate for Christmas, sometimes don't. And I need to think about what I'd want to go with my stuff, I guess. The 2021 Linen and Threads free stitch along Talavera, I've noticed has some free Christmas ornaments they're kind of put in there, but they look more like tiles, so they're not super Christmassy, I guess, unless you stitch them Christmassy. So I don't know what I want to do. I asked my husband what his favorite holiday was, and he says definitely Halloween. So he's got some Halloween stuff or like creepy stuff he might be starting on. And I too love Halloween, but I also love Christmas and I love Thanksgiving. I mean, I'm all for holidays that happen when it's cold. I am not a fan of the heat. I never have been, despite being, or because I have been, a born and bred Floridian. Like right now, my car's AC has been on the fritz for a while, and I haven't had a chance to take it in because I'm pretty sure it's going to cost like $1,000 to fix it, and I'm not ready for that right now. But anytime I have to take a trip that's longer than like 5 minutes, I'm just like, ugh. And then the AC in this current apartment has been finicky. Like almost once a month they have to come and recharge the Freon, which means that they need to replace the system, but whatever. That's why we're moving. Well, that's not why we're moving. We were going to move anyway, but it's a reason to move. All that is to say, I enjoy holidays that take place in the cooler months when it is cooler and colder and I'm not sweating. Okay, so that's Jolly July. The other whip I was working on, mostly out of convenience, because it was in the frame, but I'm putting it away now, is long dog samplers. Oop, a little cat bumped the camera. Long dog samplers, Knights Templar, which I started in May. It's a huge piece of fabric, guys, so I'm just trying to like show you just the part that I was working on. It's probably twice the amount of fabric I need. Anyway, I was really excited to just kind of work on the dragon and that little flower the tail's holding and get that little bird guy in there before I put him in. There's another bird in the pattern. But I was kind of running out of time and I do want to start packing stuff. I don't know how long y'all want to peer at that. Anyway, this fabric looks so much. It's probably like twice the amount I need, but I had been thinking I would double the border, and that's why I got such a big piece. So we'll see. And this is DMC 666 on a 16 count white chocolate Aida, kind of based on the Knights Templar colorings from the historical figures. But this is going to go away for however long. I had tried to I was thinking to try to do a page finish, and it just wasn't happening. And that's okay. We give ourselves grace when we can't finish things with all the other stuff we got going on. So those are my two whips that I touched. I don't think I've worked on the Annie Pfeiffer Chapel since the last time I showed you guys. I think it's still in my travel bag. I did, let's see. I guess let's show the husband starts. This is kind of a weird conglomeration of stuff going on. He got two kits in the mail. I don't think they weren't like a part of the Amazon Prime deal, but they happened to be on sale. They were kits that he wanted anyway, so he started two. One is further along than the other. I couldn't find the sheet for one of them, but it's fine. This is the Thea Gouverneur bumblebee that he started. So it's one strand and 18 count. He's been working on that all week probably. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 18 count. I think might be 8, it might be an even weave. But there's the bee, the bumble. It has like a honeycomb border that goes around it once you're finished, as well as like the taxonomic information will go down here if you haven't seen this one before. So this is a kit that he got. I like it because it looks like it's almost like water painted, like watercolored, because it's so subtle with the colorations and how the thread looks. So he's working on that one. And then the other one that he'd been eyeballing is another Thea Gouverneur, and it is Sakura Blossoms. And he's doing this on black, but this is the pattern, what it'll look like, the Sakura Blossoms. I imagine it's probably also an 18 count, I'm not sure. And he's got a little start. Just a little one, little 10 start. Ta-da! Really color blew that out because it's like, what color are we? So those are his 2 starts that he did. It was kind of like me, where we're starting to pack everything. So we're just like, what can we work on? What do we want to start? What do we not want to start? And then, you know, you're like, well, I still want to start stuff, even though we're going to be moving. And yeah, moving is traumatic, guys. Like, I think I told y'all, I probably told y'all, like, I've been in this apartment for 8 years. So it's a quarter of my life has been here. And it's seen a lot of stuff. And it's full of a lot of stuff. Because not only was I a crafter from the get-go, and then my husband moved in and he's also a crafter, and so like we need a house that has like 3 different craft rooms, honestly, and then maybe, you know, a place for future children or a bathroom or whatever, but really we need like a 4-bedroom, and 3 of those bedrooms are craft rooms. Oh man, I was going to show you guys something, but I'll have to show you next time because this wasn't organized enough, but I can still tell you about it. So we went to a model train convention last week, and it's not something that my husband's gotten into yet because we don't have the space for it. Obviously, we don't have a train room, but we still wanted to go and see. And they had different little booths set up, and there's different scales for the trains. So there's like, you know, train. And so we're checking out all their little module pieces, and like you can buy the different train bits and the other materials and the terrain and make your little trees. And they have some other things set up to actually show the trains in motion. But there's also like books about modeling and the history of train travel. And if you listen to the intro of my video, which didn't cooperate last week, but hopefully I can get it on this one, talks about the Orange Blossom Special, which was a historic train in Florida. And so I'm like, I wonder if I can find anything on the Orange Blossom Special. Well, I found a book that one guy was selling. He was trying to sell it for like 30 bucks. And I was like, man, not that I don't want to support you for 30 bucks, but I know this isn't worth 30 bucks. So I skipped the book on the history of the Orange Blossom Special, but then I turned and there was a table covered in t-shirts, and there was 1 t-shirt left, and it had the Orange Blossom Special on it, and it's upstairs and I can't go grab it right now. But it's, you know, it's a black and white, or it's a black print Orange Blossom Special, has a little bit of gold detailing, and the shirt was packaged and stuff, but I'm pretty sure it was created in 1995. So it's a very old shirt, which is fine. And it was only 8 bucks. So more in my budget. So I'll try to wear that next time I film when I get everything together. The last little bit of things to show you, I told you guys this would be really short because life be crazy. I think I told y'all I had ordered something, well, bid on something from Mercari. So I've gotten several kits and random stuff from Mercari, which is just like an online resale app. And I had something that I was able to bid on. Or not, you don't have to bid on it, actually, to pay for it. And it's a dimensions kit. There's actually a couple different things. Sorry, I'm ruffling around for it. A couple different things that this lady included in here. But it's a dimensions kit from my birth year of 1989. And it is called May Ling. And she arrived shortly after my lost Flosstube. And she's this beautiful geisha. And my husband and I both like various elements of Japanese culture and history. We've both studied a little bit of it. He can actually understand and speak a little more Japanese. Like, he can watch shows and stuff in Japanese and pretty much follow along what's going on. I cannot. But we do like the style. So when I showed him this, he's like, oh, did you get that for me? You know I like my pretty ladies. And I was like, you can borrow the pattern when I'm done. Because it is a kit that was partially started. And it started on 25 count linen. And y'all know how I feel about 25 count. But, you know, whoever this is from, you know, they started it. They taped the edges. I just want to show y'all what they did, how they've gotten started. This is the back, okay. So it's this long, skinny piece of 25 count, very natural linen. And they started at the bottom. So this is just the bottom of her robes, kind of like this brown bit is the shadow, and then the white bit starts the robes. And I was gonna see if I wanted to stitch on it, but as I examined it, because I don't have a problem starting, you know, continuing something someone else started, but as I was looking at it, the stitching, it's different than mine. It's mostly consistent, but I think it's different enough that I would notice if I tried to keep stitching on this. So what I decided was to get a piece of Ada, which I'm more comfortable stitching on, in a similar kind of coloration. So I ended up today grabbing some fiddler's cloth. It's obviously lighter than that. So the fiddler's cloth is lighter, which might, I have to see about the background. I'll show you guys. This is a 14 count fiddlers. That should be just fine, because this you stitch 2/2, which is like 12 count. So it's still going to be a tighter design on this, which is what I wanted. I was looking for 16 count, but they didn't have 16 count at my store in fiddler's cloth or in Rustico. So it was either the 14 count fiddlers, or they had 18 count but the long boy. I'm like, I don't need all that, so I just got this. So 14 count is what I started on. But in the background, you see that there's like very subtle blossoms or leaves or something. That might be too close to the color of this, which I'll assess when I get there, and I might swap it for something else. But we'll see. I don't know when I'm gonna start on this. I just wanted to go ahead and get the fabric replacement to show you guys what my plans were for when I do start stitching it. And then in the kit that I ordered off online, off of Mercari, the seller included the 1990 classic cross stitch calendar, which has, you know, images about cross stitch, but each month has a design that kind of fits the theme. They're not all our style, but the book comes with the patterns as well. So she included that. So if we wanted to stitch those, we could, as well as another partially stitched piece. I think it's from that cross stitch calendar. And it's like the beginnings of a flower thing. I just want to show y'all. So I don't know if I'd ever keep stitching on this, but she included it in the kit anyway. That's what I see in a lot of these resale things, is like, it's people who either just don't stitch anymore, or they can't stitch anymore. I see it on Etsy too, or they're projects that they, you know, maybe found at their local thrift store that are like half started, and they just want it to have a home that way it can be finished. So it's kind of neat to kind of pass stuff around. It's like, you know, essentially a de-stash, but I don't know. It's just a way to keep out an eye on things. I mean, I've gotten fabric from there before, and that's where I got my kit of the Mark Hopkins residence as well. Okay, so that's it. Like I said, this is a little shorty just to keep you guys updated, so I don't ghost you guys for a couple months. We do have essentially until the end of the month to move into our new place, so we're moving in batches, and then we'll have like a day where we move all the furniture that we're taking with us, and then lots and lots of cleaning, and then come, you know, August 1st, we'll be fully in our new place, and probably it'll be a hot mess over there too, but it'll be a different hot mess. It'll be, you know, more of a hot mess because there's more rooms. But That's exciting. And yeah, so I hope you guys are having fun. If you're stitching on for Jolly July, that's fun. I am hashtagging that on my Instagram. What else? Oh no, I left it already. Come back to me. Come back to me. Jolly July. Cross stitching. Oh goodness. I thought I might have to do something with Bok Tower. There we go. So I asked y'all last video what you thought about me restarting Bok Tower on a fabric count that I felt was more suitable, or not suitable, something that I enjoy stitching on. Everybody was like, hey, go ahead and switch out the things. So that's going to be in the future once we move probably, and I get really settle on what I want to switch it up to. I'll probably start stitching it on probably 18 count something or other. So I have to decide if I want another printed thing or just a colored thing, or some of the dye works folks, you know, they're still backed up because of supply issues. So it kind of depends on how soon I want to start it, but there's no rush. We all have plenty of projects to work on, so there's no rush. But yes, I will be restarting Bok Tower on a fabric that I feel more comfortable stitching on at some point in the future. With that, I hope you guys have a good week. Have a happy 4th. I'm not doing anything particular. I have to work tomorrow actually, so my 4th of July I've had to work in a long time, but that's okay. So I'll see y'all hopefully in 2 weeks in our new place. And yeah, so thank you very much for joining us again. Bye y'all.
Well, just another bowl of butterbean.